Good evening, and thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Rachel Morris, and I'm the Executive Director of the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce. And you are now watching what's happening in Rolesville live with Mayor Ronnie Currin. Good evening, Mayor.
Hey Rachel, how are you tonight?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. I would tell you, I cannot complain about the weather that we are having right now, Mayor. It has been beautiful. I think yesterday we got a little rain, but it has been beautiful. It's good when you're sitting at home and you have to make adjustments to your shades because of the reflection that comes off
Yeah,
of it, because the sunshine is so great. So I am excited about that. It's always good to have good weather, but even more excited about the lineup that we have this evening because I know one organization that we have lined up this evening was new to me. So I'm excited to hear, especially after learning more about them and kind of introducing them to a lot of other people in Roseville who may not be as familiar with them. So I'm definitely excited about that, Mayor, and always an opportunity for us to meet new people too. So that's a plus for me too.
exactly, and that's kind of what the show is about. It's about bringing new things that people don't know about, and kind of keeping people aware and up to speed, and those type things. It's really what we're trying to achieve here. And you're talking about the organization that Ann Michelle does, which is really a really good organization. And as we go through, you'll hear a whole lot about it. I've been involved in it for a couple of years now, and I think Mayor Frank Eccles was even longer than that. But it's a really good organization, and it's going to be fun talking to Ann and Michelle about that for sure.
Absolutely. And before we get to our guests, for those that are watching us live on whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube, you can actually interact with us. That's a good part about this program and this software that we use is we want you to comment and provide questions for us because we will go through and answer some of those questions and show some of those comments as we go along. So don't be afraid to go ahead and drop your comments in, even if you just want to say hi to us and let us know that they know that you are actually there. That is a plus too. But kind of want to, it is June. Mayor, I know for traditional schools, Friday, I think, is the last day for traditional schools, year round schools, depending on what track you're on. You're in school a little longer, but just want to say congratulations to our Roseville graduates. And you will see we included all of our schools. It doesn't matter if you are in elementary school, middle school, high school, our junior high school at Thales Academy. We want to say congratulations to you because it's such a great time of year for a lot of people who are graduating, especially for those graduating from high school that are about to venture off into all the different paths that they have set up for them. So we're definitely excited about that and just want to say congratulations and let you know how proud we are of you. And then also, as I tell people when they graduate, don't forget about us. When you go off to your other places, don't forget about us. Your community loves you. We would love to keep you in the community. Come back. Look there, come back and see us once you're done.
For sure. And I think Rolesville graduation is Saturday night at 8 o'clock, I think,
It
downtown
is.
Civic Center. And over 400 students is graduating from that high school. And it's really exciting time for them. I'm really glad that they're able to do things somewhat back normal this year.
Yes.
I know one year they really didn't have graduation; they had to do a drive-through that thing. And last year, I think it even split up into two graduations. And this year it's more normal. And I think more people will be able to go because it's in the civic center down there, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting I think for the students and everybody in the community to get things back normal a little bit.
Absolutely. And I will say, Mayor, I think this class, as we're approaching maybe one of the larger classes that they've had to graduate, is not even four. It's like over 500 or 600 kids that are graduating because last year I think it was maybe five something. So we're now approaching those numbers of where we're hitting some of the largest classes that we've had graduate or matriculate from Roseville High School. So we're definitely proud of that. For myself, I graduated from a small high school. We were maybe a class of, 70 people. So to be in an area where you have over 500 kids graduating, that may have been my whole school bigger than my whole school altogether, just in
Yeah.
one graduation class. So we're definitely proud of our students who are graduating from Rolesville.
And it will take a while for that many to walk across stage for sure. It won't be a quick one. It will
Yes,
take.
but they try to get it done in an hour. From what I remember, the last one I went to, maybe it had to be 2019 because it was the face-to-face one, but I did do some other ceremonies. But they try to keep it to an hour as far as being able to get the students through. And shout out to there is a particular teacher, and maybe when we have our last guest on, maybe he can tell me the teacher's name, but there's a teacher at the school and she enunciates every student's names. And when I tell you, I've never in my life been able to say some of the names that she's been able to say, but I know that she does an excellent job in making sure that every student, when it comes to their moment, that their name is said correctly. And that is key, especially for a lot of the family that's in the audience watching.
Yeah, and that's real. Several things amaze me. One is spelling bees. What those kids can spell at 12 and 13, 14 years old is really amazing. But also to be able to go through those names is also amazing for sure.
Yes, it is. So, Mayor, do you want to go ahead and we can kick into the show for those that are watching? I know quite a few of you may have heard one of our guests that's going to be on tonight. Her name is Ann Michelle Roberts. She is with Violet Love Organization, and she is excited to be here this evening. I've seen a lot of her presentation and what she's going to share with you all tonight. And I will tell you, it's such a wonderful organization, their mission and what it is that they do in the community. So let's go ahead and get Ann Michelle on so that you all can see her. Hi, Ann Michelle.
Hi everyone. Hey, Mayor Ronnie. Thank you so much for having me here today. And hey, Rachel.
I love when you all don't hear this, but we get on before the show and we kind of talk, and we talk about it. She talked about how nice it was to see herself on the billboard when people were talking to her. But what's even funnier, Ann Michelle, I didn't tell you this, but I'll be out in the community and I try to wear what I wear, what's in my picture, which is the yellow shirt and the pearls, right? It's like my brand is what I'm making it. But I was in the store and someone kept saying, "Why do you look so familiar?" And I was like, "I don't know." And someone said, "You look like that lady on the billboard." I said, "People keep telling me that, and I don't know why." And so I will tell you, it's always entertaining, for those when they first see you on the billboard, and also for our guest later, who is Drew, who is one of our parents here in the community and some of the other things. He's also a great person of making sure we put the best representation of you when we have you up on that billboard. So we're definitely excited about that. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, Mayor, to you and Ann Michelle. So that way we can go ahead and introduce our community to the wonderful organization of the Violet Love. And I know the wonderful part about technology, one of the things that you all may not have known or seen is technology. Sometimes when we hit our summer period, sometimes our technology wants to go on vacation too. So, Mayor, I know you're having some challenges over there. So, what I'll do, Mayor, is I'll go ahead and go on with the show and give you an opportunity to kind of come back in. So, Ann Michelle, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and then also about Violet Love. And for those, as she's talking about this organization, this wonderful organization, her information will appear at the bottom of the screen. So if you're trying to figure out how can I reach them, how can I learn more about them, we have contact information for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Ann Michelle Roberts, and I love to say that I am Southern. I was raised here in our great state of North Carolina. So I love everything North Carolinian. And I went to Meredith College, which is a women's college here in North Carolina. And I studied political science and criminology. And I got really involved in politics after graduating, and have just been really focused on serving my community, just really finding a role that helps women here in North Carolina and also in Sierra Leone. And my mother and I had the opportunity to form an organization called Violet Love that I'm really excited to talk about. And I have loved Rolesville for most of my life. I was raised at New Bethel Baptist Church in Rolesville, North Carolina, where I had an amazing pastor, Pastor Linwood B. Long, who led our church for quite some time. And now we have a pastor, Pastor Michael Ely. And in Rolesville, something that's always been really important to me is, again, just serving the community. And at New Bethel, we have something called just a food pantry. And that has been something that we have really used to be a serving area for the community, for those in need, whether it's right there in Rolesville or those surrounding areas. So Rolesville is just definitely a place that is just a really important community to me, and I'm excited that I get to be a part of it.
So, Michelle, let's go ahead and get your presentation up because the pictures are awesome.
Can you hear me now, Rachel?
Yes, we can, Mayor.
Okay, I apologize. Just stay on top, and if I drop out again, just you guys doing a great job.
Absolutely.
So just a little bit about Violet Love, a little bit of history. So Violet Love was actually started right here in Rolesville. My mother and I thought up the idea and just really wanted to serve and help women right here in North Carolina. So we actually were able to host it under our 150th church anniversary at New Bethel. And it was just an amazing event. It was an inspiring and uplifting event to really just inspire women and uplift women and to just really just take us to the next level. So after that event, we were able to give a scholarship to a student through New Bethel. And we just knew that there was a gap here in North Carolina and just ultimately in the United States. There's just a huge gap when it comes to women and education. And we wanted to be a part of closing that gap and creating those opportunities and creating those financial resources, because that's what my mother and I decided was something that was really preventing women for being successful, because women are smart, we're bold, we know how to get things done. And it's just the resources. So we're like, we can do something about that. So we started our organization and it was just amazing to start the process and start growing. And as Mayor Ronnie said, Mayor Frank Eagles was a part of, helping Violet Love. And since then, Mayor Ronnie has really taken over and being supportive and going to our events. We have an annual event called our Kentucky Derby Inspired Mother's Day Brunch. And that event is one where it's just a powerhouse moment. You're hearing from wonderful speakers. They're strong women within our community who understand what it is to juggle, right? Who understand what it is to be a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman. And that is what we use to just get folks excited, because being a woman is difficult. And we have to inspire one another. We have to uplift one another, and we have to encourage one another. So that's our special event. And in that event, we talk about what we've done all year long. And it just takes women to the next level. And it's just the most fabulous event. It's a brunch. You dress up in your fancy fascinators or your hat. It's Kentucky Derby theme. And you can't get in unless you are Kentucky Derby. Like, you have to be.
I saw the picture.
And I remember asking Mayor Ronnie, I was like, Mayor Ronnie, can you come? Just so you know, it's Kentucky Derby theme. And he was like, Michelle, I've got it. And
we should have included a picture. We should have included his picture in here is what we should have done.
Yeah, him and Miss Beth are just so sweet, and they come out and they're there the whole time. And people, it's just an exciting moment, because it's what I like to say when we were talking, Mirani and I, is like, it's a mixture. You get your community, and then you get some of these amazing community leaders in that room. And it's an opportunity for us all to be in that space together, and for us to build community, and for us all to remember that we are on earth to serve and to help one another. And it just is that moment where it's just building momentum, getting folks energized and saying, yeah, this is the one moment we're doing it right now in May, but we should be doing this work all year round. And we share kind of what we've done all year round with the community. So I'm really excited to walk you all through a bit of what we've done in Sierra Leone. But before that, I'll share with you, in North Carolina, you can go on our website and you can fill out an application if you are 18 years and above. We want all women to further their education. So wherever they are, so if it's a 2-year degree they're looking for, that 4-year degree, a PhD program, whatever it is you're looking for, Violet Love wants to be able to help close that gap and help you with those resources. So here in North Carolina, we have partner colleges that we work with, where we give those colleges specific scholarships for women, which is really exciting. And then, of course, for those who want to go directly to the website, we also give through the website. So we normally come together with our board and our team and vote. And it's just amazing. We have students from Rolesville all over North Carolina, and it's just exciting. So Rolesville students, please, please, please keep applying because the resources are there and we really want to pour into our community. And we're at the stage right now, we've been doing it for 6 years, right? Where we are seeing the progress, we're seeing the benefit, we're seeing what's happening. It's no longer like, okay, it's their first year. We've seen people graduate and where they are, and it's just like unbelievable. So that's a bit about what we're doing in North Carolina. And to share a little bit about what's happening in Sierra Leone. So a little bit about that. My mother thought it was very important that we serve our home, which is currently North Carolina, to serve first before we're able to help outside. And in our outside community, which is still a part of the community that's important to us, is where my mom's from, Sierra Leone, West Africa. So it's important for us to help that community as well. And I've been doing a little bit of that work since I was in middle school. My mom, it was very important for my mom to really instill that in me in serving the community. So I would send barrels back to Sierra Leone of school supplies and things like that. Wow. So it was just very grounding for me to just see how those students were maybe not even having as much as I did, but were willing. They were such hard workers, so smart, so dedicated, and would do anything to make sure that they worked extremely hard to get that grade because of the opportunity that making good grades would offer. So that's what we are doing. So in Sierra Leone, my mother and I have 4 different schools that we're working with. We have vocational schools, and we have 3 vocational schools and a middle school that we're working with. And those are the girls right there. It's just the women, excuse me. And it's so exciting. So that is a seminar that we were at with these amazing young women. We finished. You should have felt the in that room that they had gone through and it's just been unbelievable to see that we get to be a small part of their journey, of their greatness, of where they're going to be. So if we could go to the next slide. So within every student that we work with, all of the students that we work with, it's important that we have that one-on-one time, right? To talk to them, to see where their goals are, to see how we can help them reach their goals. So that is a moment right there where we're doing that seminar, that individual time where we're bringing in resources, right? We're bringing in leaders within their community who are doing things that they want to do so they can hear from them. My mother and I are there. We're inspiring them. We're just making sure that they come up with a plan. And it's so exciting when we're like, okay, we want you to come up with your 1 year, your 2 year, your 5 year plan, and where you're going to be in 10 years. And for them to have that written down and for us to come the next year and see where they're at. And for some folks, as I said, we've been doing it for 6 years, to be able to see where they are in that 5th year. And it's unbelievably exciting because if you believe in someone, it changes things. Believing in a person really just changes perspective. And my mother has seen the impact that has happened in us just believing in them, and us pouring financially resources. So in those vocational schools, we do pay for students, we do pay for their education, and it is worth every single penny. So next slide. We are right now in those vocational schools, we're building a culinary department, and we have done the seamstress rooms. We've done several different things, but this room in particular is the culinary department. So I look forward to coming back maybe next year and showing you all the finished product. And it's just exciting. Next. Again, this is the seminar. These women, the stories from waking up in the mornings, doing doing like working early in the morning, going to class, leaving class, going back and selling just to be able to provide, just to be able to pay for their schooling. So it was exciting when my mother and I told those students in that room that we were covering their tuition for that year. And it was mind blowing. The thank yous, the impact that was made was just unbelievable. So that's a picture of that seminar there. And then the next one that you're going to see is our middle school students. We went to that school. This is a STEM school. So when you think of a STEM school, you're thinking science, technology, all those things. We got there and they didn't have the STEM part, you know. They had amazing young ladies, but not the STEM part. So we decided we got to get them computers. We got to get the science equipment. We got to get the library in order. And in the next pictures, you'll see us building this library and putting it together for those students. You starting from nothing. We had the carpenters there and we built out the library. So you'll see the next picture of us building book bags for the students. So we filled their book bags with school supplies. And then for those big TJ Maxx bags, we filled with all kinds of things for their parents. So we asked each student to take home for their parents because it was in a community that didn't have as many resources. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to provide something for parents as well. And that's fixing the library. If you go to the next slide, you will see the computers. It was exciting. So we got them all new Lenovo laptops and computers. So there's desktops and laptops. And with that, we paid for internet, which was something that they didn't have, but something that since having internet, you can see the difference in their education. And one of the students says that they feel like they can compete now. They can compete with students and that they see themselves going further in life, further than just like in that community. So that's very exciting for us about what we were able to do for those students. And you can see the next picture of like more of the students just getting to know and be around those computers and learning and kind of figuring out how to write their papers now that they're all individually having those computers. So that was really exciting. But ultimately, Violet Love is so important to us. And we pour into those students because we believe in women. And if you believe in women and you inspire women, you will never go wrong. It's an investment that can't go wrong. So we continue to do this work and we ask that you continue to support us. And you can support us by going to violetlove.org. And thank you so much. I look forward to talking more about this later.
This is amazing. And I told you, you all would definitely be impressed by it. How many students are actually in a class?
In the vocational school or in the, so in the vocational school, I would say per class, probably around 50.
Wow.
Per class, yes. And the schools are quite big and it's just unbelievable. I will tell you this, we went in and we were like, okay, let's do 50 students. And when you get there and you see the stories and you hear the impact, I remember my mom and I saying, let's go think about it. We went to the corner of the room, y'all. We didn't even leave the room. And we're like, we have to do all the students because it was a huge seminar. We're like, we have to do all those students. And it's been worth it. The success stories, going back and seeing someone who was starting from zero, that you helped running a business, hiring other people. Oh my gosh, doesn't get any better than that. It does not get any better than that.
Mayor, I will let you go. I told you, I said it earlier when I found out about this, when I found out you were a guest and I went and, did my research and looked it up. I just couldn't believe this was here. Like, I just couldn't. I was like, how is it? I knew nothing about this.
She is really amazing to be around, Rachel, and I think you found that out in the few minutes that she's been on the show, and she's a very delight, and she works very hard. She's very passionate. You can tell about what she does, and she works very hard about that. And I have to say, she loves Rolesville. She loves the
yes,
and we'll finish by just talking a little bit about your connection with the community, and Michelle, if you got time. I know you've been in the community about 20 years, right? I mean, you're not a newcomer. You've been here a while.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I was raised at New Bethel in Rolesville. This is my community. We've been doing just serving the work. And, it's so unbelievable. I love Rolesville. We go to our neighborhood food line, and it's no big deal to see your mayor at your grocery store. I mean, isn't that the town you want to be in when you walk in and it's like, hey, that is our town of Rolesville. And just the service, like Mayor Ronnie and I really got to connect. Funny enough, it's not even in politics. It is our love of serving. Mayor Ronnie has come out to my church and volunteered. He's come out and supported me in other ways. And we've just volunteered in serving our community. Under the leadership of Mrs. Helen Long, actually, my mother and her were co-leaders of our food pantry. So I started volunteering there, and they started calling me the co-leader because I was not really a leader, but I love doing the work. And through that, it inspired me to actually talk to the late Mayor Frank Eagles about how we could do something for food insecurity in Rolesville. And we had a big group meeting with the Food Lion, local churches, like Off the Hook, like all of these like local stores and local grocery stores in Rolesville. We had a conversation, and we actually came up with like the Northeastern Northeastern like food organization that came up and what it is right now. And that is an organization that really just our community coming together and finding a way to make sure that people had resources. And what I love about Rolesville, we don't just care about Rolesville people. You know, it's not just, all right, if you're here, then we care about you. It's we're helping outsiders. We're helping people in Franklinton. We're helping people in Raleigh. Mm-hmm. People are coming here because it is, you know, the resources are there. It's a nice, quiet community. We can all leave the football game at Rolesville High and then go over to Sonic and enjoy ourselves. It's just a good community like place. So I love Rolesville, and like Mayor Ronnie said, like I was raised in that community, in this community, and it's a place. I was like, Mayor Ronnie, are you gonna help me find a home? Because that's what's the next step here, because that is our town of Rolesville, just a nice, great place to be. So I'm just grateful that I got to be raised in this community, and that I get to see Rolesville continue to grow. We're making national news. Like Rolesville is making national news because of how we continue to develop and grow. I mean, soon enough, we're going to have to be, people are going to be running to come to Rolesville. We're going to have to like keep our doors or gates closed, because that is how Rolesville is growing. So definitely proud to be, proud to have a little portion of myself that gets to be a part of the Rolesville community, gets to stand as a part of the Rolesville community.
Yeah, and I would think it has changed a lot in 20 years. Michelle, I know you was very young 20 years ago, and you grew up here. You know, and now a great young woman that lives in the community. But do you feel like it has been positive? I mean, you know, thinking back 20 years ago to Waytown, I know a lot of people like that more rural feel and all. Mm-hmm. What about your thoughts? Are you happy about the way things are turning out in town and the changes and those type things?
I think that Rolesville that was 20 years ago was special, right? It was amazing. You know, not much traffic, nothing was great. But the Rolesville that we have right now is something very, very special. And I remember talking to late Mayor Frank Eagles about this. And like, we're just talking about how it's growing and how it's developing, how we're excited, you know, that this is what we want. Because we can't keep this gem to ourselves. We just can't. We have to share it. And that's what I feel when I think about, I feel like this is a gem and we have to share it with other people. And I'm so excited about the growth and what's happening. And I'm hoping for more jobs in our community, because that's what's happening. I want to see our economy continue to grow. And I just have seen that with your leadership, Mayor Ronnie, and I just can't wait to see how Rolesville continues to flourish. So I think we're right where we need to be, and I'm excited to see where we are 10 years from now.
That's a very good point. And I think it's just trying to strive a balance. I know I've heard you say, you know, you like it rural, you like the rural field and those type of things, but then again, I've heard you say you like to have a place to, you know, to shop and play.
Yes.
So, you know, can you get both? Can it be done? Is it possible? You know,
I think it's absolutely possible. And Mayor Ronnie, you told him I love shopping, you all. So definitely, I feel like it's the best of both worlds. That's what you're getting when you're in Rolesville. I think you're getting the best of both worlds. And I think that's why it's such a gem, and that's why it's so special. I mean, like, It doesn't get any better than Off the Hook. I mean, the seafood there, it's that you still getting that quiet home feel, but at the same time, I mean, it's the bomb. It's so good. So that, I think, like places like that, little places like that, the shops that we have here, even from our local post office, so them knowing our names, you can't get that anywhere else. And it's growing, but at the same time, we're still keeping that community feel. So I think that this is the perfect, we're doing it at the perfect rate. So that's what I'm excited about.
Well, thank you for those comments, Ann Michelle. Appreciate that a lot, and I do hope. I know you're still going to school some and that type of thing, continue education. So
yes, sir.
You'll and you try. I think I can say you're a globetrotter too. I mean, you've been all over Europe in the last few months, so you're moving a lot and staying on the move. But yeah, I hope when you do decide to settle down and find a place to stay, that we will find a place here in Rolesville for you.
My fingers are crossed. I'm hoping not to wait too long because I don't want all the homes to be gone.
Right. Or too expensive to buy one. I think that's the things that we are facing today. Rachel, did any questions come in? Anything from the people?
We have a lot of comments from people that absolutely adore Ann Michelle. And so Dolores said Ann Michelle has a gift of motivating and inspiring women of all ages. So we definitely know that there's great work happening. But I will tell you the one thing, and I always say this because I know that when I mention just knowing about the organization, just looking at the comments coming in, from Terry Simmons of Terry Simmons CPA, that's awesome. I mean, they're the little things that you think about when you learn, and this one definitely hits home. Nothing can be more gratifying than helping others. And I must say, Terry, I completely agree with you. And what's this? It's like when people say service is the rent that you pay to be on this earth. And so you think about that. And then also, Dot, I know you're tuning in to definitely always love to have Dot join us. And then also a comment here from, Violet Love is an amazing organization. Absolutely. I mean, truly, absolutely. So you touched on a couple things when you talked about, it kind of keys up and tees up our next guest. And Michelle, I will tell you, if you will stick around with us, once we get to the end, we'll bring you back and we'll have some questions. So we'll go ahead and have you just hang backstage for us, and we'll key up and kind of bring up our next person who's going to be on.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you being here. So Mayor, it's so funny. She talked about, those key things. You talk about food insecurity and, the work of late Mayor Frank Eagles. And of course, our next guest, part of what he does in his day job outside of why he's here tonight is definitely working with food insecurity. And then when you talk about football, that's also when he's not at his day job, he's working on that part too. So, a lot of what we do, and it connects, and people don't see how it connects. And so he's been on our show before. He's been here. People know him in the community. Always a pleasure to have him hang around with us and be here with us and talk with us and be able to share with us some of the great things happening. Drew Brown Jr. So, Drew, always good to have you.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, Mayor Currin. Good to be here.
Hey, Drew. Good to have you on this show. I know you got a lot going on. I mean, you ending up a school year. We're not going to mention your real job, your daytime job. I think Rachel mentioned it. We're not going to get into that at all because we don't want to put any good things out there about our competitors. So, but we are certainly thinking that you are a Rolesville person, and even though you work somewhere else, I think your heart is here in Rolesville, and that's and we'll talk about that a little bit, Drew. Maybe introduce yourself a little bit, and maybe a little bit about your relationship with the Rolesville community, how long, and that type of thing, because I know it's been here for a while.
Got you. Well, name is Drew Brown, and I've been in the Rolesville community for about 8 years now. My kids have gone to Rolesville Middle School, and now they're on to Rolesville High School. One just graduated. I have another one coming in, so I have at least 4 more years at the high school. But love the Rolesville community. Ever since when it was part of that other town, when it was a combo, it was easy for me to move just because Rolesville is first of all, it's closer to my home, and then it's like Anne Michelle's mentioned, it's got that small town feel.
Certainly. A little bit about, your non-paying job, with the school. I think you're the president of the Rolesville High School Athletic Booster Club, I think. And I think people may know a little bit about what that organization do, but what is that role? And I guess, one of the things I ask people that do stuff just for the desire of doing it and the motivation of doing it, what motivates you to I would think this is a tremendous responsibility and a lot of work to do something like you have to do in that role. What motivates you to do that?
Well, it's an internal motivation to be the best at whatever I do. If I sign up, and I remember when I ran for president, I told the folks that were voting, I said, one thing for sure, you would not work me. And that's true. I mean, whatever I have to do to make sure Rolesville High School athletics is looked at in the best light possible, that's what I'm prepared to do. Self-serving, because I have a son through the program, but after being involved in the program, I've fallen in love with so many of the athletes, and I keep in touch with them. And it's just very satisfying to do what we do to help those athletes.
Right. And the boosters, how do they support the programs? What is their, I guess they have a mission. And what's the mission of the boosters?
The mission is just to supply the student athletes what they need to perform in their sport. Now, we obviously want to give them the wants, but we have to supply the needs. One of the biggest shocks to me was when the athletic director came and said that the bus is dying and we need a bus. And I was like, okay, call Wake County. And he said, no, that's a function of the boosters. So that was quite a shock. And there are some other high revenue projects that are coming up that I didn't realize that we took care of. I thought we just took care of uniforms and equipment. It's way more than that.
Right. And so it requires a lot of fundraising, sounds like, and a lot of, getting things replaced and things that are new and those type of things. But it's not just, you think of football a lot of times when you think of sports and high school sports and spending things on sports and stuff. But you serve a lot more sports than just football, right?
Yeah, it's 16 sports and 23 different clubs, because you have both genders. But this year was probably one of our most successful years ever. It was definitely our most successful for our girls soccer team. They went into the play. First of all, they went to the playoffs for the first time and won their first playoff game. Lot looking forward to. We have a couple of all-state people coming off that team. Our track program has perennially been good in the conference, but this year they've even taken it to where they were top 10 in the region, both of them. I think our girls finished second in the region, and then our girls team actually finished top 10 in the state. So, and a lot of those young ladies are coming back. Our boys did well, as they came in second in the conference and they finished well in the state. Baseball, of course, had a good year, and this was a record-setting year for our girls basketball team. So it's starting to move in the right direction. Our lacrosse team is starting to step up. So we're doing the things that we do to make folks want to donate and want to come support. Obviously, like you mentioned, football has had a great run over the past 3 years, and we expect that to continue. But winning and just having the student athletes in the best possible situation is what we want to do.
Right, and you mentioned lacrosse there, and probably a lot of people don't even know we have a lacrosse team at Wake Forest Rolesville, because there is a lot of teams that that really it's not like basketball, football, and baseball. I mean, in track, that's kind of what you think of when you think of high school sports. Is there any future teams that we don't have out there at the high school? I think we even do we have a swimming team already?
We do have swimming. We do have swimming. I tell you, one of the hidden gems that not many people know about is we had a 4-time state champion gymnast, Nyla Bryant. She won the state championship 4 times in a row individually, and the team, I think, won it once or twice during her 4-year run. We've also had great golfers, and we had a great tennis player. I don't want to mess up her name. I can't remember, but they've got a scholarship to North Carolina Central. So we've had bits and pieces, but now it's all starting to come together. Rolesville it's a diamond in the rough. Folks are finding out about it, and once that 500 home community across the street is built, people are going to continue to come, and it's a destination place, as Ann Michelle mentioned. It's where people are trying to get away from the hustle and bustle of Raleigh or any of the other big cities. They can come to Rolesville and still get there in a timely fashion.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, Drew, but I think it's more than 500. So
oh Lord, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to squeeze in there as well.
I think it's much more than 500, but. I know probably most of those sports you mentioned there, they don't generate revenue. I think that probably boosters have to pay, like you were saying, for, a lot of that stuff. But I guess football is the one that that brings in money. Is that the only revenue sport that you have?
Well, that's the largest revenue sport, but basketball brings in revenue. Baseball and softball bring in some. And track has been providing some, but some of the other ones, we're open and we collect, but they're not really making money. We're supporting them, and we're glad to do it. One of the things that we're doing this year that we're excited about is we're offering a student card, and a student card. This is breaking news. We just announced it Monday. A student card will be $50, and they can get into absolutely every event at home all year long. It's something that we've been wanting to do, and now we're just at the point where we can do it. So that way, it's a lot of times kids will be maybe hanging at the school waiting on a ride, but there's a soccer game going on. They may not want to pay $7 just to hang out for a quarter, but now they got this student pass, they'll come in. And while they're there as the boosters, hopefully they'll pick up a soda or some candy. And so a lot of our money is made off concessions, apparel, and then, of course, sponsors and donations.
Right. I think probably a lot of people, tuned in tonight, expecting to hear about football. Mm-hmm. So I think we probably need to mention football just a little bit.
Okay, I'll go ahead and say, I'm sure everybody heard Coach Samick did step down for personal reasons. And we're very, very happy to announce that Coach Richard Sheepy, who was the offensive coordinator for the last 3 years, will be stepping into that role as interim. And we're looking forward to being successful with that team as well, and wish Coach Samick the best.
Yeah, and I would say, and we talked about this a little bit a week or so ago, Drew, and not knowing the situation the coach had to do, but I think it's now a program, and a program is not one person. You may recall our competitors over there. Well, at that time it was Wake Forest Rolesville, so we can talk about Wake Forest Rolesville. But I don't know if you remember the history of Wake Forest Rolesville, but they had a head coach put the program together in about 3 years there, Earl Smith, and he had to leave because of the way county rules changed and stuff. And another young assistant coach stepped in by the name of Reggie Lucas.
Reggie Lucas, yeah.
And
the rest is history.
History was made over there. we may be looking at opportunity here at Rolesville, where the program is the foundation is there, waiting for somebody to maybe step in and take it all the way.
Well, we've been put in a great position. At Rolesville, we actually have 2 full coaching staffs. So we have a full JV coaching staff led by Coach Rainier Rackley. And then like I said, we have the varsity coaching staff. And that's what makes a program good. When you have young pups, just coming in, they're hungry. Then when they get a chance to go and be big dogs with the varsity, that's what helps build a program. So we're very, very fortunate to have great coaches top to bottom, both at the JV and the varsity level. And that's not just in football, it's in all sports. I mean, I give Coach Kelsey Kroll all the credit in the world. She coaches men's and women's soccer. She's out there all the time. And then we have Coach Mohar, who coaches lacrosse and tennis. And I mean, she coaches several sports. So the Rolesville community and the Rolesville coaches are committed.
That's good to hear. So I think maybe the last 3 years have been some success in football. Maybe describe that for folks watching, because I think it's been state news. It's kind of put Rolls on the map a little bit from some of the success in football there.
Yeah, we've actually had in the last 3 years, we've had 4 Division I athletes. We had one go to Carolina, one go to UNC Charlotte, one go to University of South Florida, and I'm forgetting the other university. And then we had a bunch of kids go to smaller schools, but the program has been doing very well. Coach Samet came in and changed the program's intensity 3 years ago. Then, of course, we had the 1 year where we made it to the playoffs. We lost our first game, but that built on the next year. I mean, we played that team in Wake Forest that we were one snap away from winning that game. But that built our confidence for the following year. And the following year, we were able to, as you know, not only win the conference, but by winning the conference, we beat Wake Forest twice, and we also beat Heritage. So we beat both of the big brothers on the block that year, and that was good for us. And we went on to the state championship game, and unfortunately came up a little bit short. And that was in the COVID short year, so that was in the spring. Then we had to turn around right around in the fall and play again. And we started off not great, but we finished with the good enough record where we made it to the playoffs, and then we made a nice run, won 4 games in the playoffs, came up short in the Eastern Regional to the eventual champions of Cardinal Gibbons. So for the last 2 years, we've been in the East Regionals. We made the championship once, missed it once. The expectation, the goal is to do it again this year. We've got the talent, we've got the coaching, and we've got the support.
Yeah. I don't think it's many schools that can say they beat Wake Forest twice in 1 year. I think maybe Leesville Road did it one time, and Wakefield may have done it one time, but you can probably count them all on 2 or 3 fingers, I think. So that was a real accomplishment. How a successful program like you've seen at Rolls the last 3 years. I know it really is really exciting for the parents and the folks involved out there, and the coaching staff, and even the staff at school and all is very exciting and all. But what does it really mean for a community for that to have success in your community like that?
Well, it's all encompassing. It's what makes the community great. You were there. You came and sent us off when we went to the championship game. You came and spoke to the kids. Having the athletes on parade that day was awesome. We also have the communities coming in on Friday nights, and I love what Ann Michelle said. Everybody going to Sonic after the game. That's what we want to be. We want to be a lockdown community on Friday nights when we have a home game. Everyone's at the game, and afterwards, everyone goes to the local eateries and the restaurants. So, so we obviously do need a couple more restaurants, and I think with that new development over there across from Rolesville Furniture, I think that will help. But yeah, we want to be a destination place on Friday nights always. And then, for the other sports as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask about that because you do think of Friday night football. You think about Friday night football and the lights and all. But there could be some other sports that could be really, a destination for Friday night in the community, and that would be a good thing for sure. But let's talk about some of those sports. I know some of the others have needs, and I think this girls softball team has a need. Is that right?
Okay. This is going to be my biggest project before I leave Rolesville High School. I'm committed to making sure these young ladies get dugouts. Our girls softball team has been raising money for over 4 years, trying to get the money for dugouts, and the price keeps going up and up and up. And we just haven't had the success with getting the quotes within the Wake County time frame. It's a lot of red tape, but long story short, we are to the point where we have enough saved. We just have to get a quote. Anybody out there watching, 50,000 or less is all we can afford. And I appreciate the town for donating some money to us. This week it was over $2,000, and we were much appreciated. But we have to get these young ladies some dugouts. Right now we have tarps over chain link fences, which is it's serving the purpose of protecting them from sun and elements, but it's not the same as having a cement block dugout like they see when they drive past it every time they come to practice.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good cause, and I didn't realize that that this need had been out there for 4 years until recently. That I think like you said, the girls was working on it, and I tell you, with the cost of things accelerating, it's hard to do stuff like that, and I've kind of got involved in it the last few weeks and stuff, and I think I'm really behind. Let's get this done. I think it's a good thing for the girl. The boys have they have dugouts, and I was talking to my wife about it, and she said, "Well, the girls got to have it. They got to have it." So she's put me on a mission to try to help help do that too. So.
And honestly, I think that we'll have a lot of women and female business owners get behind us. But the thing is, we've got to get a quote. I mean, we had a quote, then COVID hit, that quote expired. So we just have to go through the process again. I really believe that we'll have a lot of folks like your wife that believes that this needs to be just fixed.
Right.
Other things, other big projects, obviously we need lights on both baseball and softball fields. Because that will bring in revenue, because you'll be able to have night games. We can have double headers. Right now, our JV and varsity have to play opposite because they can't get 2 games in on a night. If we can have them both at home, it builds camaraderie amongst the program because JV and varsity are there together and the parents are there together. They're not going in 2 different directions. Plus, you can have summer games. You can have tournaments. You can rent out the field. So it's a lot of different things you can do when you have lights. But that's a $500,000 project at best. And we're looking for grants with different programs to try to get that taken care of. Need storage containers over at the track field for hurdles and stuff like that. We need another golf cart. And I had a couple other things listed down, but we've been able to purchase some things. We've got a couple of sets of bleachers out there. We've purchased a lawnmower. We've got a scores table. So the money that we're raising with our fundraisers and our sponsorships, we are able to purchase extras, wants, not just needs, but we do have a lot more wants.
I bet you do. And one of the things I have always noticed at Rolesville High School has a great facility. I've been into the gym, and that gym is a great facility. I think it's 3 courts in it, or a court and a half, or something like that. It's really nice. The whole school is a really nice facility, football field and all. But one of the things I think has been missing the whole time is the 30-second clock for the quarterback. I know Byron out there his whole time. I'm saying, why don't they have a clock for him to watch and timing? It can't be that expensive, can it, Drew?
They're not too bad. We actually have been looking into those. I think they're under by the time you get them installed, because there are two ways to do them. You can have them battery powered, or you can have them installed and hardwired. It'll be under 10 grand, under 6 grand if it's battery, under 10 grand if it's hardwired. So it's something that and it'll last a long, long time, and that's a great sponsorship opportunity because somebody can put their name right on that pole, and it'll be there until those stop clocks stop working.
Yeah, that'll be a good project in the future. You go to some schools, they have them, some schools don't have them, and it's a nice little amenity, especially you got a good quarterback like Byron was.
Well, you got a great young pup in Braden Atkinson, and he's gonna do some phenomenal things. I actually met with a gentleman today, and well, a couple of weeks ago, about some signage around the school. We just want to make it more red and black. We just if you've seen the buildings, they're great looking buildings, but they're all tan. We're looking to do a project called Sign Rolesville and just have a lot more signs around campus that show off our logo and wayfinding signs so folks know where the facilities are. Because when you come to this campus for the first time, it can be pretty intimidating.
Right. Let's finish talking about the community a little bit. And I know, you've been to other high schools. I imagine you travel some with the team as they get, especially with Byron playing. I imagine you went to most of his games, in other places. Probably seen most of the facilities around the county, at least. How do you feel about the Rolesville community and their support for Rolesville High School sports and Rolesville High School in general, more or less,
I think it's improving greatly. From my first year to where we are now, it is improving greatly and it continues to grow. Our facilities are in great shape. We just can add to them. Typically, when schools are built, from what I understand, for athletics is the last part where money is spent. Most of it's on academics and technology, understandably, but there a lot of times athletics, especially in this county, just have been put on the back burner. So for the most part, we have good facilities. They need to be enhanced. And by going through and looking at all the different schools in the county, we're right up there with the rest of them.
That's good. That's good.
Now, as far as the one thing that I talked to you about, and we've mentioned, I'm not sure if the town's maybe not there yet, but a public-private partnership where, the maintenance from Parks and Rec helps maintain some of the Rolesville fields, and then they get to use the fields, and then also where we can have camps where we partner again with Parks and Recs where our students and coaches help run the camp, but they take care of the registration and the recruiting and stuff like that. So there are things that we want to do. We've done that in the past, and we want to get back to it because a high school softball player talking to a little 7-year-old girl just touching the softball for the first time is so impactful, and we need to do that more.
Certainly. Last thing I'll ask, Drew. I think for a community and a school, to be successful in partnership, they have to support each other both ways,
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see that, do we not?
We do, and I got to give Rachel kudos because she's helped me to get the students more involved in the Christmas parade, the barbecue and bands, just things that are going on in the community, because our students need to be present and let the community see them, not just on the field. They need to see them volunteering in the community, because I know our girls basketball team have gone to different church functions. I know our baseball team has done Miracle League. There are different things of volunteering events that's happening in the community that we just wanted to keep growing.
That's great. I think it's been a great. What's school been open? 8 years now, maybe, or something.
It'll be 10 in 2023. It opened in 2013.
Yeah. So I think it's come a long ways, and things are really shaping up, and I'm really I'm really excited and think the next 10 years is even going to, be better.
I agree. Nowhere but up.
Well, whenever you see Rachel come in, Drew, you got to shape up. So
Yep.
I think she's coming in to shape us up, I believe.
I was too relaxed.
Yeah.
Mayor, I gave Drew a little extra time just because, for those that don't know, we do keep track of, to make sure we stay within a certain time frame and things like that. But, Drew sells himself short on all the wonderful things he's done since he's been the president of the Booster Club at the high school and all of the wonderful sports that we have. We have some great students and great kids at the high school, and our programs are getting recognized. Kudos to our softball program. We have a kid going D1, Nadia, this girl is a shortstop of all shortstops. I mean, just we have a lot of talent, not only on the field but in the classrooms and across our sports. We have great kids, and as a parent who does not have a kid at the high school, I'm at not a rivalry, but an opposing school. I always tell people, I cheer for all sides. So y'all gonna put your hats on, but not tell me, Rachel, put a hat on. I see that's what we do, but it's okay. Look, it's okay. I couldn't get a
It
hat.
actually wasn't planned. When he put it on, I just happened to have mine beside me.
Look, I don't have one to put on my hair, but Drew, I know for you and a lot of and Mayor, I was checking to see we don't have any questions in the background, but for you and all of the work that you've done, I will definitely say thank you to the Booster Club and all of the work that you guys do, including myself because I am one. But for the community who does not know, you do not have to be a parent at the high school. You do not have to have a kid at the high school to be a part of the Booster Club. You can join the Booster Club and support our program. As I mentioned, I don't have a student in Rolesville High School. I do work in the community, yes, but I am a member of the Booster Club. I support the community. I support our school. If anything, people know about our students is they are looking for opportunities in Rolesville. They are wanting to be connected with the community. If you see the students out, if you see them interacting, and for my juniors and seniors, my young adults, as I call them, if you are a business and you're watching, we're looking for more internship opportunities for our students to be able to participate to in the community and be present. But Mayor, looking at the time, I know you asked Drew a lot of questions. He covered a lot. I'm going to go ahead and bring Ann Michelle back in just so that we have everybody on here and, give you an opportunity to be able to say a couple of things, two great guests. Always wonderful to be able to showcase some of the best that we have to offer here in Roseville. And Mayor, I can't say thank you enough for the opportunity to present, people that we know sometimes when you're behind the scenes and you work in the community, not everyone else gets to see them or know them. And so that's what this show is about, is making sure that one, we are transparent and giving you access to people. And as Ann Michelle said, how what are the opportunities that you're going to be in the grocery store and see your mayor in the grocery store and, have a chance to interact with him. And for those that know Drew and know his family, I mean, Drew holds it down, but we know Nicole is the powerhouse behind it too. The wife holds it down.
Say that again. Yeah.
She is the powerhouse behind a lot of the work that he does. So I can't sell her short either. So we're definitely thankful to have you both here in the community. Mayor, you have anything? I know we have some announcements just to let people know of some things that we have coming up and going on.
No, I just want to thank both guests. I mean, this has been a great night. I knew this was going to be a good night. I knew, you got, as you said, Rachel, these people don't do it to get recognized, and that's obvious. I had to ask them to come on the show, but they didn't come on here to get recognized for anything. They came on to share, and I just want the community to know and see other people and what other people doing in your community that you really don't know about. As you said, Rachel, we had no idea, some of the things that Ann Michelle and her group was doing. So, but both of you, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Great
Thanks
job.
for having me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Look, and we have, Mayor, just as we're talking about things coming up on our show next month in July. I can't believe it's almost July. We have coming up on the show, of course, David Simmons. He is our chief, David Simmons of police. And for those that are looking at it, we were talking about this earlier. He's in the suit. So seeing him outside of uniform sometimes, I love the fact that they humanize the badge here. That's a huge part of them sometimes not being in uniform. And also Meredith Grubber, who is our planning director over in the planning department. So we have a great show lined up for you in July to give you an update on some things that are happening here in Rolesville. And then also want to let you all know we have a business expo coming up. So this expo, and I will tell you, if you are watching, spread the word. We added in a job fair component because some of our businesses want, and we're hiring in Rolesville. For those that don't know, there are a lot of places that are hiring, just like most of the country. But if you're looking to work close to home, there are opportunities for students, opportunities for seniors, opportunities for people looking to make a career change. There is something for you in Rolesville, and we want to make sure that people know that. We will be doing giveaways. So we're going to be giving away gas cards. We're going to be giving away some prizes and some other things. We will have face painting available. We will have balloon artists available. We will be giving out either an icy treat or Kona ice or something like that for students, because we know for year-round schools, school ends on the 29th. So the 30th is a teacher work day. So parents, if you have your kids, it's an opportunity to come out and meet a lot of our businesses. And for Rolesville Baptist Church, who is our gracious host of that event, we will be in their Family Life Center. So we're definitely grateful to Rolesville Baptist Church for working with us and giving us a space to be able to hold a business expo, which we're really excited about that. So we want to make sure the community knows about that. If you are a business, if you're it doesn't matter. Come out. It's free. Look, it's come out, meet some businesses. I'm trying to get Drew and the Booster Club in there so people can meet some of our athletes too and have an opportunity to talk to them and see them. As you mentioned, for some students, if you are a kid, seeing that older athlete or just an older student, sometimes they look up to them more than they do adults. And I think that that's important. And Mayor, as we do all of this, looking at the state that we are in our country and in our world, I'll say to everyone, it has been my staple lately to people, as you face challenges, whether they're mental, physical, whatever, just give yourself grace. There's so much going on in this world. Take a minute, stop, and just give yourself grace and know that you are just as important to yourself as you are to the community and to us. And that's what we love about not only Rolesville, but about our neighbors too. So that's all that I have. Thank you so much for those that are watching. Dot, I heard that you may have been under the weather or something, so I wish you a speedy recovery. And yes, we are that type of neighborhood and community that I know when I see your name, if something has happened, someone stopped me in Food Lion actually and told me to pray for you. So I'm going to put it out there, Dot, that we're sending prayers for you for a speedy recovery. And Terry said, she mentioned this earlier and she was so excited. So she said, awesome show as always. So thank you so much, Terry, for
thank you, Terry. Thank you.
So, and Mayor, I'll turn it over to you to wrap up.
No, I think that was a good wrap up. I don't know of anything else to add, but other than just to thank you, Rachel. Appreciate the hosting. I know I had a little technical difficulty at the beginning of this show. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I do appreciate all the work you put in and things to making it happen, because it is a lot of stuff going on in town, and a lot of it is done by the chamber, to be honest, and appreciate that. I'm excited to see the expo in Rolesville. With the COVID and stuff, we haven't really had one in town in a while. No. I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
So that's exciting. I really want to promote and get a lot of people to turn out for that. And I think they may do it. So it'd be an exciting time. So appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Ann Michelle, for coming on. Good to see you. You look very nice tonight and very very colorful, I think. With the purplish thing, I got my purple too. It doesn't show up on this, but I got my purple too. And,
love it.
And thanks, Drew, for you coming on too. Appreciate that. And see you guys later. Appreciate everybody joining tonight.
Take care.
Bye bye.